Contract farming is a system where processors and exporters purchase the harvests of independent farmers with the terms arranged in advance through contracts. For instance, 5 years ago, John Cargo ventured into farming, an investment choice which was very promising at the time. But access to markets was one of his key challenges. That's when he decided to try out contract farming. It has now worked for him, and he recommends it to other smallholder farmers.
For those 5 years before, market was quite a problem. Seeds were also a problem. But now for these 2 years, it has changed quite a lot. For seeds, we are provided with, they are of high quality. Also, market, not a problem. I'm farming with a name that market is already there.
A couple of years from John's farm, Johnston Juguna, another farmer contracted by a local exporter, is harvesting his produce for collection. He's very clear on how he has benefited from contract farming.
Me compared to the farmer who is not on contract, I have a very late market from my contractor, and for the one who is not in the contract, he or she will have to go and look for the market, either in the middleman or loiter himself to find the market anywhere else.
He further adds that other than a ready market, investors offer them much needed training for best agricultural practices and at times also pay them in advance. Increased interest in processing and export of agricultural produce is the main reason behind the popularity of contract farming in Kenya. Supporting the agricultural sector and farming is of critical importance to the government.
We would like as much as possible to government to support the smallholders, because the government input is very little indeed. So we'd like the farmers to be given a lot of support through extension workers, through the line ministries, so that they can be able to support themselves and also take care of themselves other than being reliable or relying too much from the companies that are in business or exporting.
So what should farmers look out for when signing up such long-term engagements?
Smallholder farmers should be looking for companies that, number one, offer them pre-financing, and pre-financing could be in issues of advance payment or in terms of input support, advance input supports. Secondly, another key important thing is that smallholders should look for companies that are offering them long-term kind of contracts, not just a contract that runs for just a few months or 1 year, but in terms of trying to cultivate a long-term relationship between the company and the farmer group themselves.
Despite the blossoming success that comes with contract farming, exporters who are the main investors are faced with challenges.
Any produce that arrives in Europe, 10% of it has to be segregated, be tested for what we call maximum residue levels controls. If the pesticides or farm chemicals or agrochemicals we have used are not specifically given or specified or approved by the EU, you have a lot of you be blacklisted and you'll be thrown out of the market. So you have to comply to the requirements to the dot. We are given the EU regulations, and one of the major challenges is on the use of pesticides.
Beyond the stringent EU regulations, selling of produce by farmers to buyers outside of the contract agreement is also a key concern for investors.
Some of the farmers can decide to be unscrupulous. In other words, sell produce to the brokers, and this is the produce which you have provided them inputs for, and sometimes don't take care of the crops, that is a crop protection, and then you have challenges with the quality. And here you have given the farmer the inputs, you have given the group training, and at the end of it all, you are not able to get quality and volumes you require for export.
The kind of contract that should be there between farmers and the company should be able to look beyond seasons of high demand or seasons of low demand, so that at least when I farmers receive this input, at least the company is assured that it will also be buying from these farmers year in, year out, so they will not be side selling, because that will be messing the relationship in the long term or for long term, in the short term for short term gains.
To solve this problem, experts recommend agreements which go beyond a single planting season.
Companies, on the other hand, should be looking at farmers that are, number one, willing to commit long-term to the company in terms of supplying the company with the produce. Number two, because this is a partnership between two trading entities, the farmer as a trading entity and also the company as a trading entity, it's people who are transparent, who are not going to side sell when the market price is higher and dump the produce when they can get an alternative for markets. So there should be that kind of mutual trust between the farmers and also the company. So the company should be looking for farmers that are trustworthy, that are also willing to engage on the long term.
For smallholder farmers like John and Johnston, the benefits that come with contract farming far outweighs negatives, and the sector as a whole is expected to continue to thrive.
My outlook going forward on contract farming is that gradually, even small-scale farmers are now taking farming as a business. It's now a very commercial entity. They're doing it to earn money, and most of them are looking to get into the export market. And because on their own they may not be able to penetrate the export market, that's why they are going to the companies. And on the other hand, companies also need supplies from the farmers. So I see it growing year in, year out.